Hey guys, it's Dione. Now recently I've been watching a lot, and I mean a lot, of storytime videos. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna jump on the bandwagon. I'm just gonna tell some stories of my own. That's what I'm gonna do in today's video. I'm going to tell you guys the story of how Ashton Owen from Five Sauce told me to f off. Oh god. Why am I doing this? Now before I start, obviously I want to say I don't hate Five Sauce, like I'm clearly a fan of them. This is just something that happened that I thought I'd just share with you guys anyway, because why not? It's story time, so I'm telling you a story. If you want to see more videos of me telling stories about things that happen in my life, be sure to give this video a thumbs up to let me know. But yeah, without further rambling, let's just get into the story. This story takes place in May 2014. Basically, I got tickets to 5 Seconds of Summer's No Place Like Home tour. It was all of the cities in Australia. So I got a ticket to Perth because that was the closest city to me. So my whole family and I drove up with my friend that I was going to the concert with. It was like an 8-hour drive, really expensive trip, but I was like, I'm doing it for Five Sauce. Now, this is when I went through my crazy fangirl stage. You know, we have like one period of time where it's just one band, like just one group or one artist or one, you know, actor or whatever, and you just don't think about anyone else. At the time, I was a Lashton girl, so I was Luke and Ashton. Fast forward to the day of the concert, my friend and I got to the venue at 9 o'clock, I think it was. We were like, look, everyone's going to the airport. They're obviously arriving today because today's the day of the concert. So we're gonna go to the venue and we're gonna wait at the back of the venue where they come in, and there's not going to be any fans there because they're all going to be at the airport, and hopefully they'll get out and meet us because, you know, there won't be many of us there. We assumed that they were going to have a morning flight, being that the concert was, you know, 7:30 that night. Obviously that didn't happen. We waited for 7 hours at the back of this venue for them to arrive. I was DMing with a mutual that was at the airport, and I was like, are they there yet? Like, what's happening? Have they arrived? And then she messaged me at 4 maybe, and she was like, they just arrived. Oh my god, it was chaotic. I was freaking out. I was at the venue with my friend. I was like, oh my god, Five Sauce are coming. Oh my god, like, we're gonna meet them. Bear in mind, there was only 7 of us at the back of this venue. It was raining. We'd waited like all day in the rain, and we sort of chatted up. Not in like a sexual way. We chatted up this security guard, and we were like, please, like, can you get us to meet Five Sauce? Like, we've never met them. And security guard was like, well, you guys have been so, you know, cooperative all day, and you've been standing in the rain. So when the van gets here, I'll stop the van and I'll talk to them. I'll get the driver to bring them out, and, you know, it'll be chill. Next minute, the van arrives. The van stops in front of the security guard. The passenger's window was down so we could see, like, in through the window, and the security guard turns and points at all of us, and we all just waved. We were like, hi, you know, like waving at the van. Michael sort of like popped his head like through the window, and he was like, hi, and like waved. And we were like, hey Michael, you know, like, can you come out? Can you come say hello? Obviously that didn't happen because they wound up the window and then they just kept driving, and we all got really offended. We were like, really? Like, you just saw us, we're standing here in the rain. Obviously they had things to do, whatever, but at the time we didn't realise that. We just got butthurt, and we were like, that's not fair. And like the security guard was like, I'm so sorry guys, but if you go around, because like, I don't know how to explain this. This is the venue. The drive-in came like around from the front and then went all the way around to the back. So we were on the side, like where they go through security, and then they come all the way at the back and then they go in through the back. So we were there, and then the security guard said, if you guys go up this hill and go around, like, you'll be at the back. So we did that. We literally trekked like a really big hill with all these rocks, and it was like, it was pretty dangerous, guys. Don't do things for celebrities. Just don't. Don't put yourself in danger. So yeah, we climbed up these rocks, we got to the back wall, and we just missed them going into the venue. So we were like, you know what? Let's just call out to them. We were really frustrated, we were really tired, and we were like, they just saw us. Like, they know that we're not going to be psycho, even though we've probably seen psycho climbing up these rocks. Security guard comes out, not the same one, a different security guard comes out, and he goes, look, you girls need to leave, otherwise I'm going to confiscate your tickets and you're not going to be able to go to the concert. We all just left because we were like, well, we don't want to risk missing the concert, so we won't get our tickets taken off us. So we just left and we're like, it's okay, we'll all meet up again at the airport tomorrow when they leave and we'll try our luck then. The concert was really good. I really enjoyed it. Fast forward to the next morning. We were up at 5 in the morning and then we got the train straight to the airport because we knew they'd have a morning flight. They did, I think they had a concert in Sydney the next day. We got to the airport and there was probably like 100 fans already there. Now there was this group. I can't remember who they were, but I remember there being this group that thought they ran everything and they were like, you need to stand in 2 lines and you're not allowed to move from the 2 lines because then 5 Sauce will meet you. They basically just pushed everyone and got everyone to line up in these 2 lines because the door was here where we thought they were going to come out. And then there was a line on one side of the door and a line on the other side, if that makes sense. So just 2 really long lines. Then they actually posted a cake on their way to the airport. So they were in the van and they were singing, I think one of their songs was on the radio or something, and they were like, yeah! And everyone was like, oh my God, they're coming, they're coming. I turned to my friend and I said, look, we should just stand at the back. Let's stand at the very back. We'll let everyone push and shove and get photos with them. And then they'll come to us last and then they'll get a photo with us. So that was our plan, just stick to the back, you know, avoid all of the and bashing, and we're all just standing there waiting. And then that group starts going off again. They're like, no mobbing! When they come in, don't mob them. Just stay where you're standing. And everyone was like, that's what we're doing. Like, everyone is standing here. Just settle down. Then the vans pulled up and all hell broke loose. That group of people that were going off at everyone and saying, no mobbing! What do you think they did? They were the first people to go straight up to 5 Sauce, push everyone else out of the way. The fans are just reckless. Like, the things they would do for just one photo just mind blows me. Like, obviously I wanted a photo as well, but I wasn't going to hurt someone else in order to get that. It's just, it's not worth it. Then everyone sort of started to form their little mobbing groups around each member. So obviously Michael had a big swarm, Callum had a big swarm, Luke had a big swarm, and then Ashton sort of had half the amount of people as everyone else that was around him. So I said to my friend, I was like, let's go wait in Ashton's line. We stood at the very back of the line and we just watched, like we just stood there and we just watched everyone just go crazy. I said to my friend, I was like, oh my God, I really want one of those cute like photos you see on Twitter where like Ashton's like hugging you and you're hugging Ashton. I thought it was real cool. I wanted one of those cute photos with their fave that everyone gets, and this is my first time like stalking someone besides One Direction, so I was like, oh my God, yes, like I'm actually gonna meet them, because with One Direction you can't meet One Direction if you stalk them. There's no point in stalking them. Then this girl in front of us turns around and she goes, oh, I'll take a photo of you with Ashton. And I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, can I have your phone? Like, I'll take the photo. There was like 2 girls with him, then the other girl, then my friend and I. She was like, oh, I'll take your phone and I'll take the photo of you and Ashton. And I was like, oh, thanks so much. So she grabs my phone, and I am not kidding, guys. She grabs my phone, she ran off with it, she runs up to Ashton, pushes the other girls out of the way, and then takes a selfie with him on my phone. What? I just looked at my friend and I was like, did that just happen? And she was like, what the hell? And we sort of just stood there. We did not know this girl. We had never spoken to her ever. I'd never seen her. Like, everyone on Twitter sort of knows each other, but obviously because I live so far away, I sort of didn't really know anyone except for my friend and I and the girls that we'd met the day before. So I didn't know this girl. And then she comes back up to me after she's taken a photo with Ashton, gives me my phone, goes, oh, sorry, I just need to get a photo with him because I haven't gotten a photo with him before. And I was like, oh, okay, so you're still going to take my photo? She was like, no, I'm going to go see Luke now. And I was like, okay. She goes, my sister has Twitter. She'll find you tomorrow and she'll tweet you and ask you for the photo. And I just stood there and I was like, okay. you're welcome for stealing my phone and running off. Like, I'm just lucky she didn't actually steal it and, you know, leave with it. Anyway, after that was over, my friend and I are still waiting in Ashton's line. Like, most of the fans had already gotten a photo with like 3 out of 4. So the last girl had just gone and it got to us. And I just looked at him and I was like, oh my god, it's Ashton. Like, I just want to give him a hug. I remember turning to my friend and being like, I don't even care about a photo anymore. Like, he's right there. I just want to hug him. I just want to say thank you and that I love him. Security turns to me, pushes their arm in front of me and pushes me away from Ashton and goes, no more photos with him. No more. Ashton doesn't want any more photos. Because I just wanted, like, to just go up to him, and obviously security kept pushing me. Can I just go up to him? Like, and he was watching me this whole time. He just stood there with his little beanie on, his little red checkered shirt, and just looking at me this whole time. I mean, I know this was only 2 years ago, but I was really young, sort of minded, I guess, and I was naive. So I started, like, almost started crying. I was like, Ashton, please, like, I just want to, like, give you a hug. And then he turns to me and goes, no, so fuck off. What? I could not believe it. So I automatically burst into tears. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is right. I cried in front of Ashton Irwin. Do I care? Not really. I don't regret it because I was really offended. When your favourite member of a band or your favourite person in the entire world that you dedicate your life to says something like that to you, it is honestly like being shot in the heart. Like I said at the beginning, I was obsessed with Five Sauce when this happened, so I was hardcore stan. So when this happened to me, I was absolutely heartbroken. I was devastated, and everyone in the airport just turned and looked at me because they thought I was crying because I'd met him and I'd, like, you know, gone up to him and hugged him and everything. They just obviously thought I was happy or whatever, because you know how people cry when they meet people they love, which is fine, by the way, but that's just what people assumed. Obviously I was crying because he'd just sworn at me and told me to get away from him in a non-polite way. Obviously understandable. He was probably tired and there was lots of fans. It was just ridiculous. Like, you know, there was fans everywhere, and that's fine. That's fine. I understand. But that is not how you talk to a fan. Like, that is not how you talk to someone that spends all that money, spends a whole day driving to the city just to see you. You don't speak to fans that way. It's not fair. So after this happened, he stormed off. So obviously he must have been moody or whatever, which is fair enough. I understand that. The girls that we'd seen at the venue the day before, one of them came up to me and she's like, look, if you go through border security now, if you run through border security, you can go up this, like, stairwell thing or whatever, and then you can wait up there for them to come through, like, on their way to get onto the plane, if that made any sense. So I sprinted, because now I was dead set. I was like, no, I'm going to talk to him about this. I'm going to ask him why he just said that to me. Like, I want to meet him and I want to apologize for, even though I'd done nothing, I was like, I need to apologize to him because I feel like it's my fault. So I ran through security and I waited at the bottom of these stairs because, again, don't trust other fans because they lie to you. Like, 90% of them will lie to you. This one girl said to me, wait here, like, this is where they're gonna come out. She was like, I'm just gonna go to the toilet. She left. Obviously she didn't come back because she'd told me to wait in the wrong spot. I didn't know this because this is my first time at the airport, like on that sort of inside. Like, I'd never really been past the security before, so I was like just with my friend and we just stood there waiting, and I was like, oh, no one's here, like, what's going on? And we heard laughter, and I could tell, like, you can tell Ashton's laugh is quite distinct. We heard his laugh and I was like, like, they're up there, like, they're sitting up there. And then Luke tweeted and he was like, oh, loving my soup. And I was like, oh, for the love of God, they're all just sitting up above us drinking their soup, and here's little me just having to cry over being sworn at. Okay fam, you stay up there, you drink your soup. I'm gonna meet you and I'm gonna say to you, like, you asked me, say sorry, come on mate. They'd finished eating or whatever and it was time for them to get on the plane. My friend and I standing there waiting at the bottom of these stairs, like, hurry up, like, when are they gonna come down? Clearly the stairs are right there for you to, like, walk down like that and come down from that upper story that where you are. I heard screaming. I was like, no, 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 like, no. I remember distinctly just saying no, 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 because they'd taken a different exit. This girl had told me to wait at the wrong place. I started running and my friend was following me. She had my phone, she was filming. She's like, it's all right, I'm gonna get the photo, I'm gonna get the photo, like, just run. And there was this lane that they were walking down to get on through the door which leads to the plane, and there's like, again, two big lines of fans on either side, and they were walking through. It was fine because security was there sort of pushing the fans out of the way, but then a few just sort of pushed in. I was way too far back. I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. So I was still running, obviously. What was going through my head at the time was like, obviously Ashton's upset about something. Like, a lot of people think that Ashton's quite underappreciated in the band and everyone sort of hates on him, like, because he's a drummer or whatever. That's what I was thinking at the time. I was like, oh my god, like, I just want Ashton to feel happy. I want him to feel, you know, loved. So I'm just gonna yell out and just tell him, because I was like, I need to tell him I love him, you know, like, in that fangirl way. So I yelled out and I was like, Ashton, you're amazing, we love you. And I like yelled it, like, not like that, I literally yelled it. And Michael and Ashton both turned around and they were looking. They must have been, I reckon they heard it, and they were looking for the person that said it out loud, obviously. But I was too far back so they couldn't actually see me. So they turned and they looked and they turned back and they just kept on walking. And then they got in the door was shut, and then obviously little Dione has another sook and breaks down into tears. So I'm standing there crying in the middle of the airport. By then people sort of caught on, because in Perth everyone talks, everyone chats shit about each other. And everyone was obviously chatting shit about me because I was this random girl that doesn't even live in Perth, that's just come to the concert and is now sooking over the fact she didn't get to meet them. Like, that's what people were saying. And then, dead serious, like a second later, Ashton tweets, I'm sick, sad face. Naive little me was like, oh my god, like, this whole time, that's why he was mean to me, because he was sick. I stayed and I actually became fully an Ashton girl, like, after this experience. I don't know why, because he broke my heart with what he said to me, but I became an Ashton girl, and I was like, I will meet him one day and I will tell him this story. He's not gonna remember it, but I want him to say sorry. I spent a long time thinking it was my fault, and I was like, oh my god, like, Ashton Owen hates me. And it's only just recently that I've seen that they actually treat fans like the same way, if not worse, that they did to me now. It's not their, I guess it's not their entitled job to meet fans 24/7, but I feel like when you're at a situation like in an airport or at like a venue, if there are fans there, just meet them. Like, just go up to them, say hi, take a photo, move on. I understand the Five Sauce fans in particular are crazy, like, with them mobbing and stuff like that. I know if I was in their position, I would want to meet anyone that got me to where I was, and I'd want to say thank you and I love you. I think they need to reevaluate the way that they treat their fans. They're gonna stop being a fan of you, and they're not going to buy your albums, they're not gonna buy your merch, they're not gonna buy your concert tickets. The moral of me telling this story to you guys wasn't to insult them, wasn't to make you feel sorry for me, because I literally don't care anymore. I like telling the story because I think it's funny, like, looking back on it, being like, oh, I cried in front of Ashton Owen, like, I find it funny. The moral of this story is, one, don't mob them, because I feel like half the reason why he probably was in a bad mood that day was because there was people mobbing them. That's why I didn't want to be one of those people. That's why I stood at the back of the line, and I thought he'd appreciate that. Two, don't believe that their moods are from you personally. I'm not gonna lie, I spent a long time beating myself up about it because I thought he hated me. I thought I'd ruined his day. I thought I'd ruined his experience in Perth. Like, I thought that I'd, you know, insulted him in some way, when in reality all I did was wait in a line patiently, and when he rejected me, like rejected taking a photo and rejected saying hello, he didn't say hello to me. I'm dead serious. All he said to me was fuck off. Like, he didn't say anything else to me. No hug, no wave. And then again, I let that slide and I went and yelled out to him and said, you know, everyone loves you. Yet I still thought it was my fault. Don't ever think that you're responsible for the way that they act towards you. Oh, also another moral of the story, don't lend your phone to a random stranger. Like, just because they're a fan of the same band as you and you think they're gonna be chill, then most likely not gonna be. I know you're always meant to look for the good in people, but when someone says that they're gonna take a photo of you and someone else and then they take your phone, just don't give your phone to a random person. By the way, if you ever want to know what happened with that photo, the girl did tweet me. I tweeted the photo to her. Then I cropped her out of the photo and left the photo on my phone and just told people that Ashton took a selfie on my phone. I ended up deleting the photo for good because I didn't want any reminders of that day. Again, I just want to stress I don't hate 5 sauce now because of this experience. I'm just not a hardcore stan of them. Like I said, I was going through a phase at that time where I was 110% 5 sauce. I still am a fan of their music. Not so much them. I'm not obsessed with them anymore. I don't really obsess over them as much as I used to. I'm still a fan of them and I'm going to Sounds Live, Feels Live, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know because I really do want to hear from you guys as to if you like storytime videos. If you do, I will film more. Don't forget to follow me on my social media sites as well. The links will be right here or they'll be down in the description. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button so you're notified every time I upload a video. That's about it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!